Hi friends, this is Mohammed Gibran and welcome to our JavaScript tutorials. In this video, I'll be explaining about the conditional statement or the if-else statement. Sometimes in your programming or when your application is running, you need to decide according to the user's option what you want to do next in your application. Maybe you want to execute the part A of the application further, or you might want to go and execute the part B of the application, leaving the part A behind. So how do you decide what part to execute and how do you manage that? So to do that, we have something known as the conditional statements or the if-else statement, where we can decide what to do in the next step depending upon a condition. So the syntax of if-else statement will be something like this. If keyword, then you have the condition within this brackets, and then you have the else part. Suppose if this condition is true, then we will be executing the code written over here, and suppose if this condition is false, then we will be going to the next part and will be executing this code. If this condition is true, then only this part will get executed. We will not go to this part, we will skip the else part. If this condition is false, then we will skip the if part and we will only execute the else part, and the remaining code will execute as it is. This code will always get executed, doesn't matter if else was executed or if was executed. So I will write a simple program to explain you how this conditional statements work. Right now we'll be using static values to do that. I will say if this condition is true, that is if 1 is equal to 1. Notice that I am using 2 equal to sign. In the previous video you might have seen me assigning num1 as 5, something like that. This is known as assignment, while this is known as checking. We are checking if 1 is equal to 1. We are checking, and this is assignment. Okay, so both are different. Here we are checking if both the values are equal. So if 1 is equal to 1, then what I will do is I will just print out document.writeLine. I will write that if part is executed. Okay, so if this condition, that is 1 is equal to 1, then we will execute this part. Or if this part is not true, or this condition is not true, then we will execute this part which says else. Okay, so now let me just save it, and I will run this in Chrome, and you can see if part is executed. Okay, so if I change this condition, if I say 1 is equal to 2, then what happens we will see. Since 1 is not equal to 2, it showed me the else part is executed. Okay, so this is how the condition works. You give this condition, if this condition is true, then it will execute this part, otherwise it will execute the else part. You cannot only work with the static values, even you can go and have some dynamic values, and you can work with them also. I will say num1 equal to 5 and num2 equals 8, and here I will compare num1 with num2. Okay, so let me do something like this. So yes, like this, we'll save it, and now I will go and launch it, and you can see else part is executed. Why? Because the num1 value is 5 and the num2 value is 8. As you can see, 5 is not equal to 8, therefore else part was executed. If I make this 8 as 5 and I again run it, so if part is executed now. Why? Because now both the num1 and num2 have the same value, that is 5. And suppose if I write something over here, let me say this will always get executed. Okay, so now I will save this and I will run it, and as you can see, if part is executed, then this will always get executed statement also came. This came from outside the if condition. You see, we executed this block, we skipped this block and we directly jumped over to this line. Okay, then first we did this because this condition was true, we executed the if part, then we skipped the else part and we directly jumped over to the this part. If I change the value again and then I run this, you can see else part is executed, this will always get executed. What happened? Since this condition was false, we skipped this complete if part, we jumped to the else, and then we wrote or we printed this line. Okay, so this is how if and else work. And there is not only equal to, you can even check for greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to. Okay, you can do multiple things. And there is one more thing in the JavaScript which you will not find in C and C++ or Java, is 3 equal to. What happens with this is, it will try to make two values equal. If their types are different also, it will try to it will try to get both of them onto a same level so that they can become equal. Suppose if this num1 is an integer and I make this as a string or a character 5 with value 5, and now if I check the same program, so we'll see what happens. If it says if part is executed, but if you know this is an integer part, this is a number, and this is a string. String means it is a character, actually it is kind something like this. But this, a string and an integer can never be equal, but our JavaScript says when you are using these two equals assignment, these two equal operators, then it says that these two are equal. So in that case, you would like to have one more equal to, which will check their types also. Now they must be equal in their types to be equal. So now if I run this in Chrome, you can see else part is executed. So this is how you can work with if conditions with the different types of data. So be careful while you are using the equal to signs. This is for assignment, this is for checking just the values, this is for checking value as well as the type of the data. So this was it about the conditional statement in JavaScript. Hope you liked the video and thanks for watching it.